It's you that I see. It's you that I see. Bigger than the righteous. You are stronger, stronger than the strongest. You are higher, higher than the highest. You are greater, greater than the greatest. You are bigger, bigger than the biggest. You are stronger, stronger than the strongest. You are higher, higher than the highest. Greater than the greatest. You are bigger, bigger than the biggest. You are stronger, stronger than the strongest. Higher than the highest. Greater than the greatest. Good evening and a beautiful evening to you, my friends and family. It is nice being with you once again this evening. I feel so excited that I'm being given this opportunity courtesy of Facebook, despite the lockdown, despite the stay-at-home order, that I can interact with you once more. God bless you real good. Thank you once again for watching my first and the second video. In fact, I have also learned a lot from those videos. From the first one, I remember telling us we should go on our knees and talk to God about the situation we find ourselves. That we are being locked down in this time and season is not our making. That we are being, stopped from participating in the things we used to do. So we cannot go to churches, we cannot interact, we cannot visit friends and all that. It is not our making. That there is the 5G network and the New World Order and all of that. That there's little we can do. That all we can do is to go on our knees and pray for our God's intervention. That is what we talked about in the first video. And this second video, the second video we did, I remember telling us about what I have learned from the game of Whot. I talked about the significant numbers, and I remember I did not talk about the insignificant numbers. I remember I talked about strategy, the structure, and the things we needed to do to get to success, using the game of Whot as a case study. People that have done projects and all of that, thesis and dissertation, know what we talk about, having a case study, looking critically at a particular game and seeing how the game is being played, having a lot of understanding into the game of Whot and what we do when we play the game of Whot, and what life throws at us the way it does in the game of Whot. A lot of people have come to my inbox, to my messenger, to tell me to do a recap on that story and to talk about the ones I call the insignificant numbers. I remember I talked about the Whot, I talked about the 7, I talked about 4, I talked about suspension, as suspending ourselves when we haven't been suspended. I talked about the general bombing, that you need to bomb to move ahead. I talked about number 7, where if you're being bombed, you have to be careful when you're also bombing, because it can all come back to you. And I talked about suspension, suspending the negative people, suspending negative vibes so that you can move ahead. Today, I just want to talk a little on what I call the insignificant numbers. What do I mean by insignificant numbers? Beyond the numbers I mentioned, number 7, 8, 1, 4, and 8, and the Whots, being the game changer. There are other numbers in the game of Whot. Numbers like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. There are other numbers that you may think, why didn't she mention these numbers? I wanted to devote today to talk about the insignificant numbers. Yes, I have mentioned those numbers. I want to tell us that in the game of Whot, we can check by number, we can check by signs. Checking by number enters for you, not that you really planned for it. And checking by sign enters for you, not that you really planned for it. In real life, some things you just get to your success. Not that you really worked so hard for it, but it just entered for you. It entered because before starting, there's what we call strategy. Before you have a card remaining in your hand as the last card to check, so many cards must have fallen in line with the game on the table. So many words must have fallen, so many cards must have fallen in. And like I said, you've been playing the insignificant numbers, propelling yourself, working towards your winning the game. But then, there are some other numbers that are left in your hands, or maybe one, maybe two, that, well, it may enter, it may not enter. I want to tell you, you may be working somewhere, you may be doing some things, you may feel that what you're doing is not very important, it may not get you to where you're going. But you see, we are not God. You're not God. God has a specific plan and purpose for everyone on this planet Earth, except you're not working according to the plans and dictates of God. Sometimes you're not even working according to his plans and his purpose and his dictates, but because God has ordained and decreed that you're going to get there, you just get there because God had said that you'll get there. I want to tell us that every number matters, no matter how insignificant the number is. Sometimes someone wants to check and the opponent will call number star, not knowing that the number you're holding, that insignificant number in your hand, is star, maybe star 2, maybe star 5, or maybe star is not always maybe star 2, star 3, or star 5. And they may just think, she can't get there. But that person does not know that God has prepared you, God has given you that star, God has given you that insignificant number, as we may call it, to get to your goal, to get to your success. My dear brothers and sisters, today I want to tell us that wherever you are, whatever cards you're holding, all the cards are significant. Whatever route, whatever talent you have been given, whatever field of study you are, whatever profession you are, even if you're in the game of I won't even know what we should say. Even if you're picking things from the dustbin to sell. I once learned a thing when I was growing up, and what did I learn? That you are in a particular business or you're doing a particular trade now does not mean that that's where you're going to earn. But you're on that trade so that you can put money together to take you to the next level. Where I am today does not matter, it does not in any case determine where I am going to be, because I am work in progress. That is what I want to tell you. And that is what you should claim to yourself. Because God has made you to be work in progress. The cards you have in your hands, where you are today does not really matter. Because that work you are, the next idea that is going to strike, those cards you're putting together to lay on the table is going to take you to your next point in life. I'm sure you know that wherever you are today is not where you were like 5 years ago. You are work in progress. I am work in progress. Tell yourself you are work in progress. And what God is planning to do with your life is beyond what anybody can understand. The game of what is work in progress. But you see, what you need to really know that helps us to succeed is the strategy. What is your strategy? I talked about strategy. That some people use number one, put number one together, they can have 5 ones, 1 suspension, 1 general bombing, and then what to succeed. That is the person's strategy. Some may just have just 1 and 1 what, and that's the person's strategy. Some may not even look for a very long strategy, may just be playing the cards, like I said, with the insignificant numbers, and the thing just enters. What is your strategy? How are you planning your strategy? There is what is called strategic planning. In every field of endeavor, in every business cycle, in everything you do, even if you're a fashion designer, even if you're a chemist, even if whatever business you're doing, there is what is called strategic planning. Have you looked into your business? What extraordinary thing that you can you do to add to that business to make sure that you get to the top? Now, what do we do when we're talking about strategic planning? Looking at where your business is today, the finances you need, the manpower you need, the exposure you need, the connections you need to take you to where you want to be. Have you looked at the environment? There were certain things we were taught in secondary school economics that still works. Have you looked at the people that are doing your kind of business? Are there people you can identify with? Are there people you can learn from? The unfortunate thing that is happening today in this world is that the people you're supposed to learn from, you're talking down those people. You're talking back at those people. The people that are so focused and they're doing well, instead of seeing what they're doing differently, that are propelling them to where they are going to, you are busy criticizing and condemning them. Don't you ever think that criticism is not good? It's good, but it's constructive, but not the one you're trying to pull down your other person, your other competitor, so that you can be on top. We are talking about strategy, looking at the game of what? May we, for Christ's sake, put ourselves together, plan in the way that we should go, look at the strategy we have put in place so that we can succeed. Now I want to encourage us, we can do better than where we are today. Like I said, this is an opportunity for us to look inward. This lockdown is an opportunity for us to dust our projects and programs. This is an opportunity for us to revisit our proposals. This is an opportunity for us to look at our business strategy and see where we didn't do well and see where we can improve and then get to where we want to be. I want to encourage us today. See, I don't need to talk much so that we don't miss the point. I was talking about insignificant numbers. May we look at the numbers we have. Look at where you are. Don't tell yourself you're insignificant, because insignificant numbers do take people to their, to their win in the game. Tell yourself you're significant. No matter what the world say you are, tell yourself you're significant. Tell yourself you're a success. Look at the areas you need to correct. Look at the people you need to work with. And I believe God that He will take us to where we need to be. I pray today that whatever we lay our hands to do, may God in His infinite mercy help us so that we can succeed in what we have to do. May God bless us in Jesus' name. I love you all. I love you. God bless you.